Hey everyone, this is Mansion with Cosmic Academy. The new Drake album just dropped, honestly, Nevermind, and honestly, I think it's pretty good. In my opinion, as someone that tackles a bunch of different genres, this is awesome. I think it's a great way to just showcase something different with his kind of same style, and kind of pivot something into dance music that usually he's just in the hip-hop pop style of things. So we're going to try to tackle a project just like that, maybe make a song that would be another addition to the honestly Nevermind entourage of songs, and let's see what we can come up with. As always, I want to remind you here at Cosmic Academy, we're about results. That's the reason we started this whole thing, and that's the reason we're seeing those results. Some of our students signed to the biggest labels, Armada, Toolroom, I mean, really, you name it. Playing some of the biggest festivals, EDC, Ultra, all of the above. So make sure to hit that subscribe button, stick with us, Cosmic Academy, and let's dive into the video. So right off the bat, our open project file here, our blank canvas, we're gonna start at a lower BPM. I'm gonna do like 114. When it comes to house music, it's usually around 120 to 128, but in this case, it's a very kind of slow moving, but more methodical almost. And it gives a lot of space and time, literally, more seconds, in between kick drums that can generate some really cool ideas. So I'm gonna start with the chord progression in my head. I kind of listened to the whole album beforehand to just kind of get some ideas. More, you're gonna think more melancholy is kind of the best descriptive word I can think of for this style. Let's start with a root note. Also, to get in the mood, let's kind of shape our sound that we're working with first. You can do it however you like. I just sometimes want to be able to feel exactly how it'll sound. Kind of a go-to with Serum. We got our LFO. Sing it out too. I've never taken any music theory courses, but I feel like from just the years of working and practice, like everything, you just start to know what works for you. Not that. So let's start drawing some stuff in, see what sounds good. Okay, so I drew something out here just really quickly. It's very, like I was saying, melancholic, and that's kind of what we're going for. And it's almost a little too bright, but we'll play it through and mess around and see what we feel. Okay, so we have this progression here, pretty cool. I want to showcase something that I think that works with chord progression techniques. So I have the first 4 bars here, we'll show you. Cool, right? Works really well. What I like to do is in the second part of that chord progression, change or add or just mess with one note to give the audience just a little bit of variation. Too much variation can be confusing, depending on the style of track you're going for. But I like to mess around with just one note. In that third bar of the progression, let's see what sounds good here. So just these simple little changes from this to... It gives it a different feel for that last section, more of a resolving feel. Not too resolving though, because we want to be a little melancholy and allow the vocal to do that for us. Okay, we're liking our chords, and now we can go into a percussive loop. I'm noticing that the album had a lot of what seemed like to be a percussionist, kind of like right in front of you playing stuff. So I'm going to look through just loops that I already have. Creating your own is awesome too, but with so many assets around, maybe just trying to shape one from there and then altering it to our own taste will be the best way to go here. Literally that first one sounds great. It's a melodic house one, but you can alter anything to be whatever you want. Genres don't mean diddly squat, man. Liking that already. Let's give it a little room. It's a little bright. We can start giving our group some names here, getting things going. Now let's add some texture. Just like a sparkle or a crackle in the back. I think with something as open as this, it's nice to have like kind of a noise floor sometimes. It can sound cool with the compressor for just stuff that you're doing. Like an example, something that's very vocal focused. You don't want too many crazy things going on, so sometimes just a floor of noise is pretty cool. I like that. Now let's EQ it to kind of get to a little sharp. Atmosphere. See, just in the back, nice and quiet. That'll get pushed up later with the limiter, so the quieter the better, honestly, in this circumstance. Fade it in, just allow it to move. Cool, so we kind of have a great foundation. Let's start singing a vocal, and that's kind of definitely what's the most important part of this tutorial and style of song. You can tell that Drake really explores a lot of just different ideas, and we'll do that right now. Okay, I wrote some lyrics out. I'm gonna try to sing it and see if I can get to the kind of idea that would be cool on that Drake album.
No, I don't wanna be famous, wanna be occupied. Yeah, I think we're going through some changes, now our love is alive. Oh.
Channeled my inner sad boy there, I think. Let's start processing it. Okay, I did some processing, and I think this turned out pretty cool. Let's take a listen.
No, I don't wanna be famous, wanna be occupied. Yeah, I think we're going through some changes, now our love is alive. Oh, wanna be famous, wanna be occupied. Yeah, I think we're going through some changes, now our love is alive.
Cool, that's a great little blurb there. So all I did was some auto-tune, did some modulation on things to fix my horrible voice, OTT, the magic, everything, up the time a little bit just to allow some, because it's not perfect. You can probably hear cars as I'm recording. It's a makeshift studio, but hey, we make something work. Cutting out that low end, especially with the OTT, that's going to pull up everything in all frequency ranges, so making sure you're cutting that off. You can even do an EQ before, but sometimes it can sound a little too flat. Let's see. See, it's a little radio-esque. Very small changes. It depends on the style you're going for. In this case, I think right around, I always forget frequency. Yeah, around 200. Just starting that to cut down, you should be good to go. Then a compressor at the end, you saw me putting in on the fly, just to bring things up completely without it being a frequency thing. It's just a volume/gain thing.
Wanna be famous, wanna be occupied.
Usually getting our ratio guy here just around the peaks.
Famous, wanna be occupied.
It allows more clarity in the vocal. Okay, moving on. I think we can start this like as a drop and bringing in some bass sounds. So let's start with just a cool kick drum. I'll sneak one in from Splice here. Loving that. Start bringing things down, give it some headroom. Let's make sure we tackle a really cool bass line here to kind of complement, say, imagine Drake playing this out, chorus plays, now it's time for everyone to start moving.
Wanna be famous, wanna be occupied.
Let's do an 808. We don't have to go crazy in Serum. Let's just find an 808 that works. Okay, here's what we have so far. I don't know if you call it a drop, but definitely just where the drums come in is this section right here.
Love is alive. No, I don't wanna be famous, wanna be occupied. Yeah, I think we're going through some changes, now our love is alive. Oh, wanna be famous, wanna be occupied. Yeah, I think we're going through some changes, now our love is alive.
Cool. So that sounded really cool. As you can notice, there's some missing pieces in there. While keeping it as minimal as possible, we want to add some stuff in. Let's just add in some claps. I think this is a fun way to give it a human-like feel.
Wanna be famous, wanna be occupied. Yeah, I think we're going through some changes. Now our love is alive. Oh, wanna be...
Cool, right? A little bit of a noise floor though, so let's take that out. It's something you can cut in individually, but this kind of like helps your time management. Notice it'll just cut things out that aren't necessary. Perfect, does it for you.
Now our love is alive. Oh, wanna be famous.
Cool, let's duplicate that, and now we have a nice little thing going.
Wanna be famous, wanna be occupied. Yeah, I think we're going through some changes. Now our love is alive.
Beautiful. Slow cut as well.
Wanna be famous, wanna be occupied.
I saw a TikTok that was joking about everything cut the low end and you're an EQ master. It's kind of dangerously true. Not to be a master, but definitely if you don't need sub frequencies, cut them out. Drake has kind of a staple with like a kind of a repeater and then back into something kind of like a almost, it feels like a retro style thing. So I'm gonna do like a little breakbeat thing here and see if we can kind of not duplicate, but get the idea of what he goes for with that.
Wanna be famous. Yeah, I think we're going through some changes. Now I love. Wanna be famous. Wanna be going through some changes. Now I love.
So added this in, just kind of cut up a sample that sounded like this. Pretty crazy, but just bring it to its original BPM in the warp here, and then it sticks to our 114 BPM. Cut it up, just want it to be kind of a four to the floor, just nothing crazy, but kind of telling the crowd, okay, now it's time to move.
Going through some changes. Now I love. Wanna be famous.
It's kind of a cool fill, right? A repetitive fill that's just like ready, 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 go, without saying those words, if that makes sense. What is kind of cool about this, especially, I don't want to say, but yeah, for today's day and age, you know, with us having to, you know, focus on getting songs out all the time, sometimes a simplistic style may be good for when it just comes to time purposes. You know, if you're trying to pump some ideas out, even if it's not to be fully complete, but, you know, you're practicing in your DAW and stuff like that, this is a great style to, you know, mess around with. I'm realizing that as I'm going here. This is an idea that I actually really like, and there's not many more elements that I need to add. So maybe taking some of these ideas and bringing them into more complicated projects may give you some good results. You know, that's what we're about. So let's listen through this again, and I'll show you an idea of a verse I was doing, just giving you some songwriting ideas.
Wanna be famous, wanna be occupied. Yeah, I think we're going through some changes. Now our love is alive. You led me in directions I don't want. Perfection, that's so new. Don't no. I say don't let me in directions I don't want. Perfection, that's so new. Don't no. I say don't.
So you may understand none of that because it's gibberish, but a cool songwriting technique is sometimes your first idea is the best idea, and we're just going into the melody line of this here. You can tell I'm just like saying whatever words come to mind, and that's okay. I'm not a freestyler, and you're most likely not either. If you are, go for it. That could be your freestyle verse. But in this case, I would shape that melody, which I kind of like this, right? So this kind of sounds cool.
Let me in directions I don't want. Perfection, that's so new. Don't no.
Pretty cool. It bounces well. It has a good vibe to it for a verse. What you would do is just kind of attach vocals to each, just go in later and fix what you would want to do there, and, you know, make it actual English and you're good to go. That's a whole idea started in just kind of messing around, just singing like a weirdo. But this is a great spot for, you know, even if you want to feature someone, or you can even sing through a part and be like, oh, maybe someone else would fit better there, you know, like Drake does in kind of with a bunch of features on the album as well. This is just a great kind of foundation for that. Very cool. And what I did there is just duplicate the Serum stuff that we were working with, so our original chord progression. Pretty cool ambient, give it some lower frequencies, and then a much simpler kind of radio effect, but with the same chords here. Awesome, sounding great. So that's pretty much it. Adding any more layers would kind of be contrary to the style that the Honestly Nevermind album was going for. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this tune. This is something, you know, of course, we definitely wanted to strike while the iron is hot, get you guys out an idea of some sort of what style is going on right now, and showing how to create that from scratch. With that, thank you so much for listening, you guys, and we will see you in the next one.